dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. All quiet tonight, but a strong system moving in tomorrow could bring high winds and some heavy rain to the region. First Alert meteorologist Evan Hatter gets us started as our First Alert Weather Day coverage begins. Evan.
Well, Keaton, that's right. Showers begin to work in later on tonight as the warm front associated with this system begins to push in. Once that warm front moves through, it's getting windy. That's why the First Alert Weather Day is in effect. Let's break it down. Winds gusting even outside of any storms, 40 to 50 miles per hour tomorrow. That's especially tomorrow afternoon and evening. And while the winds may gust 40 to 50 miles per hour outside of any storms, if we do happen to catch a stronger shower, then we could see higher gusts inside of those. The wind advisory takes effect for most at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning and runs through 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And again, this is for tomorrow. For tonight, no big weather impacts. 52, there's the current reading from downtown Somerset. The view there, it's overcast. We've seen plenty of that today. That's kept temperatures right around average, low to mid 50s out there today. And we'll continue to see the average weather last at least a couple more hours before warming conditions work on in. Maybe a sprinkle moving into the Cumberland Valley out by Lake Cumberland and parts of Wayne County, but for the most part, things are dry out there tonight. Those showers, though, increase later on. Upper 40s to right around 50, an overnight low. In fact, we don't move a whole lot out there tonight. Before tomorrow, we get warm again. Details on that in a few minutes. Keaton?
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Evan. A combined 880 bills have been filed in Frankfort for this legislative session, with 594 of them originating in the House. The filing deadline for new bills has passed, and lawmakers have just 12 days to pass some high-profile ones before the veto period. Chad Hedrick has a look at where things stand in Frankfort.
With just a dozen days left for lawmakers to pass bills in Kentucky and just a handful passed and signed into law, it is setting up to be a busy few weeks in Frankfort. Earlier this month, Governor Beshear approved changes to the income tax that sets up the 0.5% cut that took effect in January and also next year's further 0.5% cut. The income tax will drop from 4.5% to 4%, and it will likely go down from that in future years, as long as certain financial triggers are met. While Beshear says he would have liked to have seen a reduction in the sales tax, and this bill could have impacts to funding state services down the road, it still saves money for Kentucky families.
While there are some long-term repercussions, I have one bill in front of me, one bill about whether or not we can help our people at this time of high inflation.
With public education, lawmakers are working to address Kentucky's teacher shortage. House Bill 319 is described as a first step and loosens some certification requirements to attract out-of-state educators or people with knowledge in a certain field.
If we weren't in this situation, we wouldn't consider that, but we are in this situation. And are you better off having somebody that's got a bachelor's degree in math, who has work experience in a math class teaching math, than having a long-term substitute?
Activist group Kentuckians for Medical Marijuana continue to encourage Kentuckians to call lawmakers in support of passing legislation beyond an executive order signed by Governor Beshear. Representative Jason Nemes tweeted last week he is working to get support in the Senate, where legislation has died after passing in the House. In Frankfort, Chad Hedrick, WKYT.
A bill legalizing and regulating sports betting has been filed. Like medical marijuana, it's passed the House before but has not been heard in the Senate. President Robert Stivers has previously said he doesn't believe there's enough revenue potential to make it a priority. He told us last week the Senate is not focusing on any House bills until they move to the Senate. A new edition of Issues and Answers will be featuring a Floyd County native this week. Kentucky State Treasurer Allison Ball joined Steve Hensley to talk about Kentucky politics and current events. Ball says the region's still home for her, and she hopes rebuilding from the flood will move faster.
We went out in Wayland, which is, I'm from Floyd, so it was good to be home. And then we came to Perry County right after that. So, you know, we were doing boots on the ground stuff. But I do think there's some great needs. I mean, it's obvious there are great needs that are still unmet, and we need to do everything we can to get out there fast.
Ball is also a Republican candidate for state auditor in the upcoming election. The full edition of Issues and Answers will air Monday at 7 p.m. right here on WYMT. A multi-agency effort has led to the arrest of 14 different people in Whitley County. With the assistance of Kentucky State Police and the Williamsburg Police Department, The Whitley County Sheriff's Department say they executed multiple arrest warrants Friday night into Saturday morning. Officials there say the 14 people who were arrested had active warrants issued by the Whitley County Circuit Court. The arrests were made at the request of Ronnie Bowling and John Reynolds at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. The Department of Energy says the COVID-19 pandemic most likely came from a laboratory leak in China. Senior U.S. intelligence official told the Wall Street Journal that new information caused the department to make the updated assessment. The intelligence community has noted repeatedly that a lack of cooperation from Beijing has made it difficult to get to the bottom of the question of where COVID-19 originated. The assessment comes as Republicans on Capitol Hill have been pushing for further investigation into the lab leak theory, and President Joe Biden has put resources into getting to the bottom of how the pandemic started. Allergy season is underway across the state of Kentucky due to warmer temperatures scattered throughout the past month. The Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America says that over 50 million people in the U.S. have allergy symptoms. Family practice physician Dr. Fox says that while allergies can't be prevented, they can be managed by medication, but he advises those who do take allergy medication to be mindful of what they're using.
There's some nasal sprays over the counter that you can shrink your nose down, things like Afrin, and those are okay short term, 24, 48 hours to give you some quick relief. But if you get using them all the time, you're going to end up making your symptoms worse.
Most allergy symptoms resemble symptoms of COVID-19, so during the season, Fox suggests that people be extra cautious to prevent the spread. With February being American Heart Month, it's important to do what you can to keep your heart in good health. When companies test the air quality of your home, they test for things like mold, dander, pollen, dust mites, and other biological particulates that could affect your heart and lungs. During February and other winter months, many people in Kentucky naturally tend to spend more time indoors, but spending time in an enclosed space makes it even more paramount that the air you're breathing in is clean.
If you have any of these particulates that are entering your home, when you're keeping the windows closed and you're keeping the door closed and you're not actively ventilating your home, you're going to just keep recirculating and breathing that same poor air.
While testing the air quality of your house will usually cost you between $250 and $300, experts say that your health is worth it. Another revival is being held at Rupp Arena this evening. It's just days after the conclusion of Asbury's revival in Wilmore. That revival sparked international attention and brought thousands of people to Kentucky, including one evangelical group from Minneapolis. The group, known as Pulse, is hosting their own revival at Rupp Arena. The president of Pulse is encouraging those who attend the event at Asbury Revival to come to Rupp to continue the spiritual movement.
I believe what happened at Asbury and what's happened in Kentucky is spreading across the nation. And this is just another space for us to rally people for the truth, for the gospel, and for people to be set free. And there's no better time to be in the light business.
The event started at 2 p.m., and it's going to run until 11 p.m. tonight. It's free and open to the public. The Kentucky Wildcats got a huge win over Auburn last night. The Wildcats beat the Tigers 86-54. They're 20-9 right now, but they have 2 games left in the regular season before the SEC tournament. Members of the Big Blue Nation say they have experienced both ups and downs this season, but they say things are starting to look up after last night's game.
Just want to watch them play, and especially I think everybody's dying to watch us win a tournament game after the last few years that I think we'll pull a crowd wherever we go.
UK fans are preparing for the SEC tournament. Last time Kentucky won that was in 2018. The tournament starts March 8th and ends on the 12th. That's going to be in Nashville. Morehead State University will be freezing on-campus housing rates for the upcoming academic year. That announcement was made on Friday. This isn't the first time they've frozen rates. Morehead State's president, Dr. Jay Morgan, says, quote, "By freezing housing rates again, we hope to create an environment of affordability coupled with a quality education," end quote. The price freeze will apply to all students who live on campus, regardless of year or housing assignment. Eastern Kentuckians got to hear a band with Appalachian roots dating back over 50 years. WIMT's Chandler Wilcox details how the concert was a special occasion for people involved.
The McLean family band returned to where it all started in Hyndman.
Raymond McLean Sr. Traveled around Knott County for many years, bringing music to the one-room schoolhouses in the county, way before those schools were, consolidated into bigger groups.
They brought a bluegrass tune that kept heads bobbing and feet tapping, almost like the music made everyone feel more at home.
This music resonates in this culture with a lot of people. I wouldn't say all the people, or even most, but many people really like bluegrass music and related kinds of traditional music here in Eastern Kentucky and Central Kentucky.
Relating to something Appalachian is a big reason Hyman Settlement School set up this concert. It was an event dedicated to recovering from the July flood.
Those physical scars are going to be here for a long time, and also people were affected emotionally.
They believe gathering is one of the best ways to grow through trauma.
It could be hard to feel safe in right where you live, and so part of our reasonings for having these monthly gatherings is giving a place people can get together and just build community and enjoy each other's company.
All of the donations from the event go to the Knott County Long-Term Disaster Recovery Group. In Hyman, Chandler Wilcox, WYNT Mountain News.
Sarah Kate Morgan also said the Hyman Settlement School is around 70% rebuilt from flood damage. Coming up at 6, how a popular new movie is helping a historic Kentucky movie theater thrive.
Plus some showers on the way as we head into the new work week, when we could see some aggressively gusty winds as well. Coming up after this.